So is Amy still alive? The photo bearing a resemblance to Amy, right? The questions, is she still alive, right? Her being missing and the whereabouts on where she could be, right? She went missing March 24th, 1998, right? That's when she disappeared while she and her family were on a cruise, right? Did Amy meet someone as her family traveled on the cruise to various locations, right? Any of you heard about the story of her going missing and the cruise being involved and cruise members in question, various cruise members, various locations in which the cruise ship, yes, right? The questions, who all was involved, right? Who were the people involved in the disappearance of Amy, right? And why are there photos? A woman, a sex worker, which looks exactly like Amy, right? She looks like Amy. Her hair is longer, right? And the face, she looks just like Amy, right? How does an individual go missing, but then some type of way there's an individual? We all have lookalikes. They say we have 6 or 7 lookalikes, right? Same with Amy, right? Sex worker named Jazz. Look, she looked just like Amy, right? That doesn't mean that she is Amy, right? She could be Amy, right? But we don't really know. We all have lookalikes. We do, in fact, many of us have, in fact, have 6 or 7 lookalikes. I've been told by various people that I look like 6 or 7 people, not in the face, but different people tell me I look like somebody they've seen before, right? Same with Amy. Like, subscribe, ID in the Discovery Channel. Yes, ID in the Discovery Channel. The links are provided below. Get that Discovery Go app as well as the ID Go app. You might want to get those two things combined to make them into one, and I'm a Discovery influencer. That's indeed a fact. So Amy meeting people on the cruise ship, right? And the locations in which were traveled while on the cruise, right? You because to ever go to various locations is to meet different people, right? Because the crew, when I mentioned the crew in the opening, right? People question if on the cruise ship could she have been involved with somebody, a crew member on that cruise ship? But once again, I question, did she meet anybody as they stopped? You know how you're on a cruise ship and you go to various locations and you stop? Did she meet somebody while they were in stopping, right? Just because there were just because there were crew members don't mean that crew members had something to do with her disappearance. There could have been somebody that were at one of the locations in which the cruise ship stopped. There's ports, right? When you stop emotion, there's ports, right? Where you stop a cruise ship and you get off and talk to people or whatever, right? But the crew members are more in question, right? We know, right? At around 5:30 a.m. during the time of disappearance, right? When Amy went missing, right? During the time, around that time, right? The approximate time. So around 5:30 a.m., her father looked out at the balcony of his cabin while on the cruise ship, right? He noticed her relaxing, but 30 minutes later, when he checked on her, she was gone. So he noticed that she was there, but then 30 minutes later, she was gone, right? Her shoes were left behind despite her taking her cigarettes and lighter, right? What happened? Because see, to leave without your shoes or leave without your sandals is to say, well, where did you walk to, or did somebody carry you? You took your cigarette and you took your lighter, right? To know that you're on a cruise, people walk barefoot even on a cruise, right? Because I asked that, trying to analyze, right? Did somebody carry her? Did she walk somewhere? What was the situation? Who all was involved when I asked that? Did somebody carry her to know that she left her shoes behind, right? Did she walk around barefoot? To know that Amy was relaxing before she went missing, right? You're relaxing. So if you leave your shoes behind, the relaxation. If she's that comfortable and relaxing, right? Did she think to leave the balcony and say walk down the hall or something, right? Without shoes on, barefoot, right? The environment is relaxing. That's what a cruise is about, right? So the barefoot, walking barefoot, how some, I just asked that, did, did someone carry her, right? People have been known to walk barefoot on a cruise, down the hall, right, to restrooms or wherever, right? The walking, the distance, walking from one place to another. Because see, her father, right? To know he went and checked on her, okay, your father checked on you, right? And you were there 1 minute, then you're gone 30 minutes later, right? If somebody were to carry her out or forcefully, say, remove her from around or the balcony or in the area location of the balcony, right, by force or something like that, would the father know anything? Possibly not, because even he's in question, the whole family is in question, right? So how does someone leave from a balcony and just disappear, right? The sex workers, how I questioned in the opening jazz, right? How would somebody disappear from a balcony and then say become a sex worker? You're in a room in which you're in an environment in which your father checked on you, right? So how do you leave by force if force took place or force occurred, right? Sex work and force, sex trafficking, right? How do you leave a balcony, right, and then end up in sex trafficking or sex work or environments that involve sex workers? How do you leave a balcony? How are you forced from a balcony, right? The father wouldn't have heard anything, right? It's strange, right? So there have been questions on if Amy somehow fell overboard and drowned, right? I too question such, right? Because the shoes, when their shoes left behind and a cigarette is gone and the lighters are gone, as to say, okay, the shoes were left behind, the shoes are left behind, right? Did she fall over? Everyone questioned that. Law enforcement, everyone, right? Be a missing persons near water, right? On the balcony, relaxes to say, people question intoxication, how people fall over, right? Fall overboard, right? Intoxication, was there any alcohol involved, right? That's usually the first thing. People in fact have fell off of balconies from being intoxicated, but some in fact on cruise ships as well. But I'm speaking on like homes and stuff like that, how people have homes and people be intoxicated and fall off balconies. So that's why I even questioned her falling overboard, right? Alcohol or anything like that, right? Don't think she was much of a drug user or anything like that. But the crew members on the cruise were questioned for giving Amy special attention, right? Family members mentioned that sort of thing, right? The crew members, in fact, were given Amy special attention, right? They showed particular interest in Amy, right? Witnesses said they seen Amy disappear with a crew member around 6 a.m. So 5:30, father checks on Amy, right? She's relaxing on the balcony. And then around 6 a.m., somehow witnesses said they seen Amy disappear with a crew member, right? That particular crew member denied being involved in that sighting, right? Individual by the name of Yellow, how people have nicknames and stuff like that. Yeah, he said he was not involved, right? So of course people, I'll leave that part right as it is, right? So questions arise over sightings of Amy and photographs sent to the family of Amy, right? That was mentioned in my opening, right? The sex work, sex trafficking, right? Why would someone say be relaxing on a cruise 1 minute, right? Because the acts by force, right? It goes back to that. Someone forcefully forced into sex trafficking or sex work, how some would ask, and even I asked that, well, did she leave by choice? Her family, right? What type of home life did she have? Her family, what type of people was she involved with back home? Family, relatives, or friends, or anything, right? Family members, right? I asked that pertaining to family members because why would you want to leave your family behind? Say if she left and it, say you leave and you're not leaving by ways of force, sex worker. See if that situation played out. If I were to become a sex worker, right? And I leave my family, but not by force. Say I leave my family by choice. There have in fact been people that missing persons who have left, yes, home, family life by choice, right? Once again, why would somebody like an Amy leave her family behind, right? Family life, questioning their life. How was their life? Seems like they had a good life. Seemed like they got along good. Their family members, right? They're still looking for her and her being missing, right? But why would I leave my family while on a cruise? Why would I leave my family? That's not to say that situation played out, but just analyzing, right? People go missing, and sometimes it is by choice, right? If she's not dead, right? How people are declared as dead, you can be declared as dead and you can still be alive as well, right? We know that. There's missing persons who have been declared as dead and yet they were still alive, right? So the questions of leaving by choice, if that took place, that crew member, the crew member who said he was not involved in her disappearance, the fellow by the name of Yellow, his nickname or so, right? Him not being involved. Well, usually when you're questioned and somebody's missing, right? Usually when you're a crew member and you're questioned and you just come out your mouth and say, well, I had nothing to do with her disappearance, usually people would, yeah, once law enforcement, well, I don't know anything about that. No, I was not involved, right? For family to question that male and her disappearance. Yellow, his nickname Yellow, right? If he were involved, right? That's not to say that he say was involved in getting her involved in sex work or anything like that. But say if he did, right? What will be his reason? The crew member, any of the crew members. How Amy, before she disappeared, how she said about particular restaurant when she told her family members not wanting to be involved with individuals from a particular restaurant because they creeped her out, right? To be creeped out by crew members, not particularly crew members, but of the restaurant, right? Crew members, ship workers. You know, if you ever got off the cruise ship, how there's the ports and all the rest, and yeah, right. Meeting people and feeling creeped out, right? Would Amy have say left on her own accord? She could have told her family one thing and it could have been something else, right? Being declared dead and all the questions and suspiciousness, right? Huh. Right, she's an attractive woman. Yeah. So that's where the questions are. The crew members, right? The creeped out. Amy said she was creeped out by certain individuals, right? The restaurant, right? What would, if any crew members were involved, what would have been their intentions? Right? I'm in question of sex work involving crew members, cruise ships, and stuff like that. Because things go down, and what you don't know goes down in the world, even in secrecy and privacy and all the rest, right? Stuff goes down and all the rest, right? So I would in fact question that. Cruise ships, are there in fact people that force people into sex work, crew members and stuff like that, right? Anybody would question stuff like that. Cruise ships, sex work, traveling. It's a cruise ship. Let me see. Cruise ship, traveling, right? How some women be posed up, they be sex workers and they be posed up, and some of them be laid on the beach and all the rest. It seems like a cruise ship or so would be the perfect environment almost for sex work involvement, doesn't it? You get to thinking about a beach or various beaches, right? The environment of sex work, because it's sexy even being on a cruise, sexy going on a cruise, is sexy being on the beach and taking sexy photos and all the rest, right? Sex work and cruise ships, right? It's just a question, that's all. So we're on investigationdiscovery.com. The ID logo stands in the far left corner. You would in fact consider the environment of the cruise ships, right? And sex work, because there's all type of sex workers, right, that be involved in different environments in which you wouldn't even know they were involved in, or if even sex workers were there. How sometimes there's sex workers, right, sex rings and all the rest, right, in which you don't even know that they're there and stuff like that, right? So that's where I'm in question of that the cruise ship. What goes down in the dark on cruise ships, right? What goes down in the dark involving cruise ships, if any, right? Yeah. So dear viewers, let me know what you think and feel about this video. Let me know what you think and feel about Amy. What could be the situation involving Amy as, and what could have taken place, right? Do you think she's still alive? People declared dead, right? Being declared dead, being declared alive, right? What do you think could have been the situation involving her life? Is she still out there somewhere? So once again, let me know what you think and feel about the video, and may you enjoy your day. I'm in fact gone for now. 1.